What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for TheLines.com, PlayPicks.com. We're going to talk Monday Night Football between the Ravens and the Raiders. The first real football game, first one that counts over at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas as the Ravens head to town. A beat-up Ravens team. If we take a look at the lines here, guys, before we get going, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and let us know in the comment section how you're going to play this game. Fairly interesting here, mainly because when we look, you can see Ravens, best line you're going to get on them is 4-point favorite over at MGM. You can find the Raiders 5-point, catching 5 points over at Unibet. So you go to this betting preview here. You just go up to where we have NFL. It'll say week 1 previews. And this will give you this tool. Awesome right here. Let you know where the total sitting at 50.5 right now. No place to get a better edge on that. And then also a little prop finder here. You can type in anybody's name and a prop will come up. Here's the thing about this one. It's the injuries that's been making all the news, and mainly on the Ravens side of things, right? So Rashad Bateman, their real highly touted draft pick, he is out. Got a core muscle injury. He's on IR, so he ain't going to play for a while. Then, of course, you know the stuff that went on in the backfield. First, it was J.K. Dobbins that goes down. Then it was Gus Edwards that went down. Then Justice Hill goes down. Achilles injury. So that's where we are right now in all of this, is they are now down to 4-string, undrafted in 2020 free agent running back in Tyson Williams. He's going to have to tote the mail because that's all they got. I mean, they did sign Latavius Murray. They did sign Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman, all these guys. They were on the practice squad anyway. Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman on the practice squads was anyway. So they hadn't even been elevated to the full team yet. Latavius Murray's only been there a few days. So it's probably going to be Tyson Williams who's going to be doing everything there. On the Las Vegas side of things, I mean, you can see right here, no real huge thing right here. I mean, Incognito being out, he actually is graded out pretty well according to Pro Football Focus. But he's not going to be in there. And of course, Nevin Lawson is suspended. So that's kind of what we're looking at on that side of things. I'll give you this. Here's some stats that you can look at right now. But really what we're talking about here is a Ravens team that we know kind of what their identity and what they're all about, right? It's Lamar Jackson is going to be the captain of a run-first offense that he's going to run a lot of the time himself. And then when he's not running, it's going to be a bunch of the running backs. And listen, this wide receiver core for them nicked up as well coming into this game. So whenever we go back to that injury report, you can remember Miles Boykin out of this game. Rashad Bateman, as we mentioned, out of this game. We also have Sammy Watkins and Hollywood Brown, who were both nursing injuries as we led into this game. Like during practice, they were having some injury issues as well. So the passing game probably not going to be the greatest for the Ravens in this thing, and so they're probably just going to rely heavily on the run, which what they've done all along. Anyway, if you look over on the other side of the ball here with the Raiders, I mean, the real big mismatch here is just their offensive line is not projected to be very good. And when you look at some of the injuries, some of the guys that aren't going to be playing for them, and then also, look, it's a relative strength for Baltimore as well. So it could be a long day for Derek Carr. At least if it's not him getting sacked, there should be pressure. It could be people in his face all night long. The Raiders did go out. I mean, listen, what we're getting from this team, they released John Brown after they signed him. So, I mean, the wide receiver core, they're going to rely on Henry Ruggs, who was one of the rookie wide receivers last year that just didn't really pan out, which is crazy because all the rookies seemed to pan out last year, but he was not one of the ones that did. And so he's going to start. Brian Edwards is going to play. Hunter Renfrow is going to play. Those are going to be your trio of wide receivers right there. And, of course, the real number one, there's Darren Waller at the tight end position. But this is funny because this is a game where two teams, I think the number one is both going to be the tight ends. Darren Waller is the unquestioned number one for the Raiders. And I think in this game, given what we know about the wide receiver core kind of being a little bit injured coming in, about the running back core being pretty decimated and stuff, I think he goes back to his safety blanket, Mark Andrews, early and often in this thing. So if we take a look here, guys, I don't have a ton on the spread or the total here. There's a couple of different ways to kind of go about playing this. If you did want to play, I don't see a blowout here by any stretch of the imagination. So if you did want to go that route, because I know a lot of people play the single game stuff, single game teasers, single game parlays, things like that. Like for me, if you wanted to take this and take the Raiders and take the total and go the under here, and if you wanted to tease that, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Taking the Raiders up to 10.5, so you're getting it up over that 10 threshold, and then taking the under on that. You can kind of see down here how that all plays out, so I don't hate that, and I think that's the way that you could certainly go about playing this game. For me, I'm going to be more interested in the player props here, and really one in particular is, like I said, Mark Andrews. I think he's in a super smash spot here, and when we go and we take a look here, receiving yards, Mark Andrews at 57.5, and then we have the receptions as well down here. Oh, holy hell, this has been bet up a lot today over the course of the day. So over 4.5 juiced up to -155. You can probably search around on the some of the other books out there. This just happens to be DraftKings that I'm doing this on right now. Maybe they've listed it as a 5 or a 5.5 or something where you don't have to pay 155 juice or something like that. But I think Mark Andrews is in a smash spot in this game. I think that he is in a very favorable matchup, and not only in a favorable matchup, but he's going to be high volume out of necessity because there's just not much else for Lamar Jackson to throw to here. So I like over on Andrews receptions, like over on Andrews yards as well. So definitely think that that's the way that I'm going to be most likely playing this game. If you look over here at the spread, if I had to play one way or the other, listen, I know that if there was a game to pick off the Ravens, it would be this game for the Raiders. They lose Marcus Peters in the secondary, and to go along with all the running back injuries that they have, and it just seems like this would be the time to be able to go after them and get them. But the way that they play, I do understand. Like Tyson Williams has been there; it's his second year. Like, I mean, yeah, you've never heard of him before, and he didn't play a ton last year. But like the thing is, he's been there a year, so it's not like this system is foreign to him. So he's a guy that can kind of come in. I got to be honest, and again, we know that there's better than the 4.5 out here. We saw that there's a 4 available. If we wanted to do that, I'd play the Ravens in 4 if I was going to play the spread here. Most likely just going to be a prop night for me. If you did want to tease the Raiders up, I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I do not think that this is going to be a run out. So if you did want to get them up to 10.5, something like that, and then play the under, given the nature of how the Ravens play, given the nature that I think they're going to be extremely run heavy, and given the nature that it's probably high percentage passes they're going to be throwing, which again, it just keeps the clock running. As long as you're not throwing incomplete passes, the clock just keeps running. The longer the clock runs, the more likely it is that we're going to hit the under. So that's how I would go about playing this thing. But really, guys, for me, I'm going to sit back, see what this team looks like, and maybe this is a way that we kind of go and attack this division after this is all said and done, or some of these adjusted win totals after this game, because I think we'll have a pretty good idea of what this Ravens team is all about. Is there any chance in the world these teams have figured out Lamar Jackson in year 3 and his bag of tricks doesn't work anymore? Or is there any chance in the world that Ruggs has panned out in the offseason for this Raiders team? We know Waller is awesome. Bryan Edwards is a guy that they have been raving about coming out of camp as well. Is this offense now just going to be super efficient and maybe even cover up some of the deficiencies that they have on the defensive side of the ball? So I'm really interested in this one all around. Going to play the Andrews props. May have a small piece of the Ravens before it's all said and done as well. Guys, everything we do on the line is absolutely free, so go ahead, subscribe, go ahead, give us a thumbs up, let us know in the comment section how you're going to play this thing. Again, did any of these other ones kind of catch your eye? You can see the quarterback props here, 258 for Carr, 209 for Lamar Jackson. Both are set at a touchdown and a half. Both are set at a half an interception. So there's all kinds of different ways you can go about attacking this thing. For me, just going to be on the wide receiver. You go to this little wide receiver tab right here. Even though he's not a wide receiver, he's a tight end. Going to be going after the Mark Andrews stuff. Hope this season, this first weekend went really well for you guys, and hope Monday Night Football is also good. Good luck on all of your bets.